Hi, I'm Matt Thompson and I'm in the warehouse here at Carolina Energy Conservation and Klaus Roofing. And today we're going to talk about kind of our products versus the competition. And if nothing else, educate you, the homeowner, on things to look out for and what each product does and why we think you should use it, and go from there. Plywood. So we want to replace any rotted plywood that's on the roof after we get the shingles off. Typically plywood rots around chimneys, pipe boots, skylights, any kind of existing penetration. So we're going to cut out the rotted plywood and we're going to replace it with 4-ply CDX plywood. This is a very good, strong plywood. We want to use this to give you the best quality product we can, as opposed to using this OSB, or oriented strand board. All this is glued wood chips together. It's not very strong and won't last the test of time. That's why we prefer this 4-ply CDX plywood. Drip edge. When we do your home and we've got all the shingles off, the next step is to surround it with drip edge. And what drip edge does is it sheets water away from the home and the foundation. We like our nice 6-inch drip edge to prevent against wind-driven rain from getting underneath the starter course, as opposed to the smaller competition drip edge that's only about 3 inches. Okay? You get half the amount of metal on the deck to prevent against wind-driven rain. That's why we prefer this larger one. It's kind of a no-brainer. After we've got all the shingles off, just use the best products. Ice and water. When we do your home after we've got the drip edge on, we're going to go around all the eaves, the valleys, the penetration, so pipe boots, chimneys, with ice and water. And what ice and water is, it's a self-gasketing membrane, meaning after you put a nail through it, it's going to seal. It's a second skin that you can never get off your roof again, and we want to put that in the most vulnerable areas. We use a high-quality ice and water, and we put it in more locations than local competition. Other folks, they're going to use a generic ice and water, and it's going to go in valleys and around the penetrations. We put it in those same spots, but we also put it above the eaves, which is a big difference because a lot of repairs we go out to, there's water that's gotten up underneath the starter shingle and has rotted out the eave. So we want to put it in that location while we've got the whole roof torn off. Just another kind of no-brainer to help better protect the home. Deck tape. So after we have our ice and water on, we want to deck tape all the seams of your roof. The reason being is we don't want Mother Nature to ever get water in those seams in the worst kinds of weather, so we want to prevent against that. We take 4-inch seam deck tape and it seals to all the seams in your plywood. So your home is completely covered. That way, should the worst happen and the shingles have flown off and your roof is completely exposed, it's going to prevent water from getting in your insulation, your drywall, and your ceilings. There was a study done in South Carolina where they put a modular home inside a commercial building. They had it spin for 3 hours. It was saturated with commercial sprinklers and commercial fans to simulate a hurricane. After that time, the side of the home without the deck tape, the ceilings and insulation had caved in, so that family would have been displaced for weeks, maybe even months. And on the side of the home that did have the deck tape, that was sealed, the ceilings and insulation did not cave in. That family probably could have stayed in their home as opposed to being displaced. Just another reason why we really love using the deck tape here at Klaus Roofing. It just offers you better protection. Nails. So there's about 12,000 nails in the average roof. These are your common roofing nails. They're what's called a smooth shank nail. We don't like them because they don't have a very good hold. We take it a step further and we use what's called ring shank nails. These 1 1/4 ring shank nails have teeth in them and they give you better holding power than smooth nails. Our shingle is rated at 130 miles an hour and you get 6 ring shank nails in each shingle. Shingles. Probably the most marketed aspect of a roof. There's a million kinds. Right here, I've got a very common shingle in our area. It's a GAF Timberline shingle, and I have our preferred shingle, an IKO Dynasty shingle. So going through them, just a couple things. The Dynasty shingle underneath is longer and wider. Okay? It's heavier per bundle. On the back side of this Timberline shingle, there's no armor zone. On the back side of this IKO Dynasty shingle, there is an armor zone to prevent against nail pullout. Furthermore, when we talk about sealing, if I lift up the tab here on this GAF shingle, it's got 2 strips of tar, and that wasn't incredibly difficult. If I set this aside, and I do the same thing on this IKO Dynasty shingle, I tear back this tab, I'm fighting it, I'm fighting it, I'm fighting it. It's certainly much more difficult, but instead of 2 layers of tar, there's actually 4 layers of tar. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can see the difference, you can feel the difference, which is why we prefer the IKO Dynasty Performance Shingle over anything else. We've just illuminated a couple different reasons how Klaus Roofing goes above and beyond in our local market. The larger drip edge, ice and water in more locations, sealing the deck, ring shank nails, and a Dynasty Performance Shingle. A lot of small reasons that add up to big differences why you should go with Klaus Roofing. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch the videos on our products versus the competition, and I hope you feel maybe a little bit more educated about a roofing system and what to look for.